Michelle thinks it's difficult to order a beer, so we brought in Schlafly ambassador brewer Stephen Hale to give her a hand.
Where do I even start?
Well, do you like beer?
Yes, love beer. I love beer.
May I suggest a Schlafly Double Bean Blonde Ale? It warms my bitter old soul to see young, hot, blonde babes enjoy Schlafly beer at the keg stand.
So you're like a beer ambassador? Are you from a different country or something?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the debut, the official debut of D-League Radio TV and D-League Radio in what hopes to be a fantastic game, and it should be. We have the #1 seed, Ridgemont Slashers, against the Vicious Squirrels at the #2 seed. And I am joined today by Erick Zamora, the voice of the Des Moines Buccaneers, and also a member of the D-League Radio crew. Erick, we cannot come up with a better scenario for a championship game here 29 weeks into this season.
No, and when you take a look at the two teams, it's almost not fair to call them the 1 seed and the 2 seed. They're really the 1A and the 1B. They never were able to get a victory against either team. They drew both times. They ended up with the same amount of points. And when you break down into it, got into goal differential, they also gave up the same amount of goals. It was just a slight difference in goals for. So when you talk about it, obviously there were a chance for some upsets throughout the process, but that never came about. We've got the top 2 teams. We expected them to both be here, and here they are duking it out for the championship.
And we are about to get started. Both teams are at center ice, and the puck is going to drop. We have a great show lined up for you today, and we are so happy you joined us today on D-League Radio TV and in D-League Radio. Erick Zamora with the call.
Bradford, the center, feeds it over to DeSales. DeSales will bring it into the offensive zone, chips it back, and Reeves gets a piece of it. They're trying to move it over was Bradford. Reeves will let that go around. Reeves is one of 2 players on the Slashers team that lead them with 20 points, both he and John Stageman, although he leads in the goal category for the team, 16, 4, and 20, his stat line. This will be picked up by Ted Davis. Brought it over the line, offside, just 41 seconds into the contest, so we will have a stoppage in the action. It's going to be in net for the 2 squads, the goaltenders you'd expect here. On one side, Jack Bowers in net. On the other side, Jason Runge for the Slashers. And Runge had an outstanding performance in the semifinal victory over the Reefers. Final that one 4-1. For Jack Bowers, unusual to see him give up 3 goals, but it was enough as he was able to stop everything in the 3-on-3 overtime and then stopped all 3 penalty attempt shots. Right on front, Runge with a save and another, sprawls for it. And we saw early in the contest last week, Runge had a little bit of an issue with some rebound control, but he's helped out by his squad there. Looking to send it out of the zone is Barnhill. A penalty right off the bat. Brian Emerson is going to get called for tripping on Justin Reeves, and this will allow the Slashers to have the first opportunity with the man advantage. By the time we get set here, will be about 18 minutes remaining in our first period. On the face-off, Cale Adamson, as he goes up against Conway to the goaltender's left. It's won by the Squirrels, and TJ Fleming sends it up. Couple of Slashers there trying to keep it in the zone, unable to. And they'll bring it in the offensive territory, cycling it around, and it's handed off there by Casey Spear. He puts it into the corner, and the Squirrels turn it over. John Stageman throws it wide of the cage as Bowers was laid out down for that one. This will come out to neutral ice. I believe that's Gannon with it. 30 seconds have passed so far in the Emerson penalty. They'll send it around. Now to be picked up by John Stageman. Stageman being pressured here by Ian Conway. Conway trying to go in and create something shorthanded. But now it's Stageman coming up with a full head of steam. He's across the blue line around 2 players, but it's knocked away at the last moment by TJ Fleming. It's centered up top. And fighting to keep it in, they can't. This is stolen away by T. Scotter. T. Scotter, however, has it stripped right back from him as that was Sean Gannon stealing it away. Still on the man advantage are the Slashers, but they can't keep that one in the offensive zone. That'll be sent down the length of the ice. 45 seconds and a tripping call here as Bowers furiously skates over to the bench. By the time he gets there, he'll have to head right back out, but we've got matching tripping calls, and we're going to go over to John Reichart. John, what did you see there?
Well, before the tripping penalty to Aaron Harris, taken by Cale Adamson of the Slashers, it was a great defensive play by TJ Fleming of the Squirrels. He was not intimidated by the speed of John Stageman coming through the neutral zone and into the Squirrel zone, able to poke that puck off of Stageman's stick before he can get a good shot. Great play by TJ Fleming.
The drop of the puck is with 13 seconds left of 4-on-4 action. Then we'll have a power play set up for the Vicious Squirrels. They'll bring it over, and Casey Spear looks to send it over. It'll be picked up and sent right back in by the Slashers. From the goal line, the Squirrels looking to break out. It's Ed Bradford. And now they skate 5-on-4 as out of the box is Emerson. Turned over at their blue line, but stealing it right back is DeSelles. DeSelles will feed it over, cutting around, firing a shot from downtown was Bradford, and Runge, I don't think, was expecting the shot there. Still a minute 20 on the man advantage. Stepping up is T-Scotter. T-Scotter had his shot unintentionally blocked by Bradford. Runge will cover up with 15:25 left to go. About a minute 10 left now in the Vicious Squirrels opportunity with the man advantage.
Good pressure by both teams coming back and forth, and it's the Squirrels with the better scoring opportunities early in this matchup. And again, now the Squirrels are on the power play for another minute.
Justin Reeves will take the draw to his goaltender's right. It's won by the Squirrels momentarily, then backhanded deep by Brandon Stageman. Stageman, along with his brother John, lead the team, each with 7 assists. And of course, perhaps no bigger play for Brandon Stageman this year was the lone goal in the shootout against the Ramblers. That was in the quarterfinals. That set the stage for the Slashers to continue their run for the 2016 Commissioner Cup. The Squirrels will have it behind their own goal line. Looking to dig it out is Straithman. Straithman plays it up and to neutral ice. The Slashers looking to set up. It's Brandon Stageman ahead for Reeves, misses, back to Straithman. Straithman, and we've got a Groundhog Day situation here as they'll again get it out to center ice. 10 seconds left before Adamson is out of the box. And a nice job there by the Slashers. It almost looked like for a moment you forgot which team was on the man advantage because the Squirrels were pressured so much by the forecheck of the Slashers turned what should have been a negative situation for them into a positive one as they killed off some precious time. Van Howling brings it in, snaps a shot wide. This will be corralled by the Slashers. They look to break out. Unable to hold the point are the Squirrels going back into their own end. This is T-Scotter. T-Scotter with pressure from either side, and he's able to split them beautifully, goes down the middle with it. This will be picked up, however, by the Slashers. They'll bring it in the zone. It's Stageman. Stageman fires, glove save by Bowers, and he'll hold on for the whistle with 13:40 left in the first.
We're seeing a feeling out period, but a really high intense feeling out period by both teams, the Squirrels and the Slashers, not holding back very much when it comes to the attacking into the green zone. Both getting some shots on goal, both goalies be able to make the saves. We'll see which team breaks first.
Greening on the draw with Reeves. It's won by the Squirrels. They'll exit the zone, bouncing it around off the near boards as you see it on D-League Radio TV here on the east boards. Settled down by the Slashers. They'll bank it ahead, try to connect with a long pass, and it does get over for Reeves, but a nice job. Ted Davis moves over. Davis with 7 goals, 8 points on the year, but showed some nice defense there to prevent Reeves with that, well, very distinctive pink helmet from being off to the races. The Slashers looked like they were looking to exit the zone a little bit too early, and they nearly paid the price for it. Reeves will leave it there for his line mate. That's McFarland trying to move it. This will be picked up by McCormick. McCormick can't get it past the Squirrels at neutral ice. Cutting in from the angle, and I think Runge got a piece of that one. Sharp angle shot, but Runge was able to occupy the net. Turned over, and Davis will keep it alive. Davis fires a low shot, pad save, and then on the rebound, Conway, and a nice job there. That was Gannon getting a piece of Conway, otherwise he would have really teed up. That one took a bad carom for the Squirrels. Pauly, fresh onto the ice, will play it into the offensive zone. Reeves Can't get it past Polly. Polly with a nice stick poke there and keeps it alive for the offensive bid. Now it's stolen away by Stageman. Stageman, as always, has the green light. A player falls down. Stageman cuts in, fires, and whistles it wide as Bowers looked like he was in great position there. And then we saw players from both sides fall right down at that on the blue line. Not sure if maybe there's an awkward spot there or not, but this is brought back in by the Slashers. It's Chris Biagini has it poked off of his stick. They look to hold the zone. They can't. Conway has Polly to his left. That's the way he'll elect to go. He'll hold up at the blue line, touch up, firing a low shot to the goaltender's right. And Polly, I think it was off target, but Runge didn't want to find out. Got a piece of it. It clangs off the back glass, and he'll cover up for the whistle.
Saw a great scoring chance by John Stageman coming in the zone, and he had defenseman of the Squirrels, John Barnhill, fell over the blue line. Those of us in D-League can relate. I know I've done it a time or two. Eric, I've seen you trip over the blue line, but a real inopportune time. Luckily for the Squirrels, Stageman shot it wide. We're still scoreless.
Well, just because I tripped over the blue line, you don't have to point out that I was probably a goaltender at the time. Behind the net is Runge.
What are you doing at the blue line?
Runge, I'm new at this. Runge feeds it along the boards. The Slashers get it out of their zone, turn it over at neutral ice, but that's most important as it forces everyone to come back out. Harrelson trying to get it out of the zone. So far in the game, not a lot of shots. I've got 3 for the Squirrels, 1 for the Slashers so far, and I expected a defensive game. Here we see a quick shot on Bradford, and Runge did a nice job of occupying as low as he could, tried to take up all the lower half of the net, and did a fantastic job. Bradford banged one off of his pad. This will be put on the stick of Bowers, and Bowers will hold on as we are halfway through this first period.
Now we're starting to see both teams really start to get a little more liberal in their shot attempts. A few more were thrown over towards Jason Runge's way. He was able to make the saves, and just now a good scoring opportunity by Nate Bolton on a good setup by Scott Carlisle.
So the draw will be won by Adamson. They try to move it up for one of the wingers. That's picked off by the Squirrels. They'll play it around Gannon. Coming in is Emerson. Emerson leads his team in assists and tried to feed that one into the crease. It was poked away by the stick of Runge. At the skates of Emerson, in between them, they'll get it out to the point. Teeing up is Casey Spear. However, the Slashers are able to get some bodies out in front of that and block it out to neutral ice. Looking to flip it right back in. TJ Fleming. This will go up to Adamson. Adamson is met head on there by Casey Spear right at the hat of the Buccaneer logo at center ice. Spear will chip that in. It's an offside for the Squirrels, but they'll touch up and they'll regroup, as it looks like both sides, particularly the Slashers, looking to get some fresh legs out onto the ice. Going after and looking to try to disrupt play was Kip, now up for Papien. And actually, it'll be picked up here instead by Gustafson. Gustafson waits, fires, knocked off target. Kip will rattle that off the side of the netting, and then this will be picked up by the Squirrels. They'll move it up to the west board, slowed down there momentarily by Van Howling. Van Howling up for Conway, and again, losing an edge was Gannon, then so did Van Howling. The Slashers bring it in from the left circle, fire a shot. Again, that's blocked. That time it was Spear getting in the way of things. This will be sent up and settled down by Aaron Harris. Aaron Harris from the right wing side has Gannon in front of him. Polly to his left, but he takes it in himself. Stageman knocks it away at the last moment. Kip will backhand that up through neutral ice, and this will be touched by the Slashers, but turn right back over. Polly with Conway to his right. Polly takes it wide from the goal line, looking to center, throws it out front, and it's going to be held onto by Runge as he was able to cover up with 7:40 left in the first period. So we'll have a face-off in Slasher territory. And at this point, the Vicious Squirrels out shooting the Slashers by a 4-2 mark. Reeves wins that one with authority and actually clangs it off of the half wall in front of his own bench. So immediately doesn't need to win that over to someone to clear it. He just did it himself. Then a slow roller to him, and it just snuck under his stick. This will be handled by Conway. Conway cuts through the logo, then moves over to the right. Drop pass right at the blue line. Looking to get it right back as it was Harris with it. Reeves breaks that up, and then eventually it is poked out of the zone. Back to the Squirrels blue line. They'll chip it in, and this should be an icing call. It is with 6:48 left to go in the first period. Still scoreless between the Squirrels and the Slashers.
And we're joined today in the booth, finally, by Commissioner Matt Whips on his final D-League game. He's going to provide color from here on out. Matt, welcome back to the D-League Radio booth. And so far, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a pretty even game so far, John. Very entertaining, back and forth. Looks like both teams just trying to get that initial surge, but not willing to put themselves in a bad spot to do it.
We didn't expect either of these teams to come out firing. In fact, I've talked to a bunch of people throughout the week that said the one thing that you can expect is it's probably not going to be a blowout. We're looking at a 1-2 goal game likely at the most. Behind the goal line, and it's Brandon Stageman battling. We're going to have a penalty, however, as it was touched up by the Squirrels. Looks like an interference call with 6 minutes remaining in the opening period.
Yeah, guys, it looks like Chris Coons got a little too far deep into the goalie crease and interfered with the goalie, and the back referee made the call on that. As Ed Bradford was trying that wraparound, yeah, you got to get guys out of that crease.
Well, and Eric, this could be an early opportunity here for the Slashers. As I said, it's been pretty even so far, but they can take advantage of this and get on the board.
Well, and you never like to take penalties, but you especially don't like them in the offensive zone as you're that far away. Bowers hugs the post, makes a save, then doesn't have to make the next one as it was blocked out front. This will be sent to the point. Stageman is able to slow it down from there, but is not able to keep the point. So the Slashers will have to regain. So far, both teams have been 0 for 1 on a little bit of shortened power play opportunities as they overlapped by about 15 or 20 seconds. This will be picked up by Gannon. Gannon will play it into the offensive zone, but nobody there. But the Squirrels, Bradford, will go right down the middle, and it was poked away by Reeves for a moment. Backed up nicely, and the Squirrels play at the length of the ice, or at least 3/4 of the way, and that'll do as they were in need for a change. Through neutral ice, nearly poked away by Davis. Davis out there with Bradford, and they come away with it. It's fed over to Bradford, shorthanded, just a little bit out of his reach, and from a sharp angle, throws it into the crease. No problem for Runge, as there was nothing but green and yellow sweaters in front of him. He was able to leave the rebound, but the Squirrels doing a nice job of killing off this penalty. This is Gannon, gains the line from the right side, then centers it over Adamson. With a couple of attempts at a shot, Bowers gets low. He'll make the pad save and hold on with the glove, as we've got just 28 seconds left in the man advantage.
Well, and so far the Squirrels are bending, but they're not breaking, and they're doing a good job of keeping these slasher opportunities to the outside. And when they do get one on net, Bowers is ready.
Well, when these two teams have met so far, they've been low-scoring affairs. We go back to the first time, Monday, November 16th, a 2-2 draw. Next one was a draw as well, but that was by a 1-1 score on January 24th. Technically, they did meet one more time, but they were really just out on the ice at the same time. They weren't playing. This one will go in as a shot on goal, and we'll have a stoppage here. So if you look at the scoreboard online, it says a 0-0 draw, but those two teams, and maybe a real good idea, taking the quote-unquote bye week and just working on some things. Looks like it's worked for them so far.
It was essentially a practice that day, and as you said, it was probably a good idea, and it's reflected in their play today. Both teams look sharp.
So this will be won and played out, however, as the Squirrels were in the offensive zone, and they just killed off a big penalty. We're down to 2:50 left in the opening period. No score yet. Casey Spear from his own defensive right circle has plenty of time. Long pass ahead, misses Conway. And Pauly, however, will poke that away, as that was Caleb Harrelson trying to move it quickly. Harrelson with a shovel backhand, and McCormick inadvertently kept it in for a moment. And Spear had that one knocked into his own zone, but did a good job of preventing Adamson from getting in cleanly and quickly. This will be picked up by the Slashers offside, as Brandon Stageman brought it over, but his Slasher counterparts had yet to clear the zone.
You know, Eric, noticing an early trend out here. The Slashers are playing a little soft defensively, meaning they're playing back in the neutral zone. The Squirrels are looking to counter that with some stretch passes. Now, they really haven't connected on one yet, but if they do, they're going to manage to get behind that defense. But so far, it's working for the Slashers.
And stepping up is Spear. They look to get it out of the zone. Pauly with a whack at it, but they kept it in. Scott Carlisle, 14 goals, 19 points on the season, and he did a nice job there of keeping it in the offensive zone. It's poked out to John Stageman. Stageman overskates it for a moment, then tries a pass inside to Adamson that's picked off. Conway will spin, will be guided into the boards, and Stageman pokes it away from him. Bolton gets it out of the zone. Sent right back in. The Squirrels will have to touch up. They're in with pressure. Gannon being pressured by Conway, nearly created the turnover, but the Slashers are able to go with the cross ice dump in, and that'll slow down well before icing will be called as Casey Spear pokes it up the wall right in front of the bench. And we're going to have a whistle here. Looked like a clumsy exchange as the players were coming on and off. I'm wondering if we have too many men on the ice.
Too many men is what I was just thinking.
Yeah, I just saw the referee signal the too many men on the ice call it, so we are going to get another Squirrels penalty. They can't keep flirting with disaster like this. This is the third penalty in the first period, and now the Slashers go back on the power play. We're less than a minute left in this period, but you know, dangerous play by the Squirrels.
And it's uncharacteristic of the Squirrels, that undisciplined, but it'll be Fleming who will be called for it. We see Runge up here flirting with the blue line, thinking that maybe he'd want to come off if there was an opportunity to allow the Slashers an extra skater in the closing seconds, but it looks like the Squirrels will end that bid before it ever started, as we're down to 15 seconds left in the period. Carlisle, and nice job getting back was Bradford. However, we're going to have a penalty here, a high sticking call, and that's how the penalty or the period will come to an end, as we still have yet to get one up on the board.
And at first I thought that was just going to be too high of a slap shot there from Carlisle, but I believe you're right. It does appear to be a high sticking call.
I believe you're right, Matt. I think it was just too high of a backswing for a slap shot.
While we get all that figured out, I want to thank the Keg Stand, the D-League radio sponsor, 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines. Open till 2 a.m. 7 days a week with food and drink specials, a full menu, and over 80 beers on tap, as well as half-price wings on Wednesday. The Keg Stand, home of D-League, home of D-League radio.
Guys, I'm down here with Kurt DeSales of the Squirrels. Kurt, you guys are off to a decent start. Both teams having some opportunities. What do you guys got to do to stop taking some penalties, though, and putting the advantage in the green jerseys' way?
Big miscommunication there on the bench. I think all three changed at the worst possible time and just went out there.
More shots on goal going to be in store?
Yeah. Well, Stageman's following us across, taking it, so we got to get it deep and try to get it down low.
Kurt DeSales of the Squirrels. Good luck, buddy.
All right, so after one period, again, no score, but we've had a myriad of penalties being called. And when you've got the top two teams out there, it's kind of a little bit of a surprise, but you knew it was going to be a situation where the teams were going to be getting after it. And we have, going to the box, John Stageman. And what I thought was interesting was to close out the season, I called a game in which the Slashers played the Yeti. Going into the game, John Stageman had only 4 penalty minutes called all season. He picked up 6 in that game, and a lot of it had to do with Scott Flounders and him kind of getting into it and getting under each other's skin. Here again, we see Stageman take an uncharacteristic penalty. This will be brought in now, flipping ends. If you're watching on DLeagueRadio.tv, the Slashers in green and yellow will be going from right to left this period, as the Vicious Squirrels in black and yellow going from left to right. This will be into the corner, so Bowers will hug the southeast post there, and this will be picked up by Bradford. Bradford looking to move it quickly. We've got 50 seconds of 4-on-4. Not many times you see in D-League games at all 4-on-4 time. This is already the second time, that we have seen just 8 skaters out there. Gustafson takes the puck, will come in all alone. Gustafson fires, Bowers with a save, and it's kicked out by his defense. So Bowers tested early in this second period and comes up big as again, early on, the Squirrels were out shooting the Slashers. Coming in is Reeves, and he puts one on Bowers as well. Centering pass broken up, and the 4-on-4 so far has really sparked some offense for the Slashers.
Well, and Bowers really bailed his team out twice there within about 30 seconds. Beautiful saves.
This will be played up, and the Squirrels coming in on a 2-on-0. It'll be a clean break, and the shot steered away as Ryan Greening with an opportunity there. Had a 2-on-0 or maybe a 2-on-1, but I like what he did there. Just make a beeline for the net, and with the breakaway opportunity. Now we're with 20 seconds of a Vicious Squirrels power play. Runge will steer that one aside. I think that was heading through the crease and out, but Runge didn't want to find out where it would end up. This will be poked down, and the Squirrels will collect. It's T-Scotter. T-Scotter calling for it is Emerson. Emerson flips it ahead to the skates of Van Howling, literally, and he'll feed it over. And he didn't realize that T-Scotter was headed off for a change, so he passed it over to open space. Right idea, just a bad result because of the timing. Stageman's out of the box, and he immediately joins the fray, and we are back to 5-on-5. A pass over for Van Howling. Van Howling doesn't wait, but he whistles it wide of the mark. Runge gets down low. I think he may have gotten a piece of that one, and we're going to have a delayed penalty on the Squirrels. The Squirrels headed back to the bench as it's touched up at neutral ice, and we've got a tripping call. It looks like Van Howling will be the guilty party with 17:20 left in the period.
Guys, the Squirrels flirting with disaster once again. We're early in the second period. They were fortunate enough to have another penalty called on the Slashers at the end of the first period to make it a 4-on-4. Now they're going short-handed again just 3 minutes in.
Yeah, like you said, John, you can't continue to play with fire. You're going to get burned eventually, and the Squirrels are really pushing it now.
The draw is one back, but it goes out of the zone. Pursuing is Conway. Conway tried to pressure Gannon there. It's turned over at the red line, and the Squirrels will play it deep. This will be picked up and sent out. Nice job of turning, having time, and finally playing it was Conley. Good job by his teammates to let him know that he had some time there. The Squirrels will register a shorthanded shot on goal there as Runge had to make the play. Stageman cuts in, fires, Bowers with the rebound and kept it out! The second one off the rebound from Stageman's shot, floating, and Bowers got a piece of it midair with his stick. Two bigger saves have yet to be recorded in tonight's game as the Slashers kept off the score sheet by Bowers on the power play. The Slashers are, and they'll continue to be. It's brought in by Adamson, and Bowers won't waste any time. He'll play that out backhanded. And Bowers, for those who don't know, is a left-handed shot, so that truly was a backhand. For a lot of goalies, when they flip the stick over, they're actually going to their forehand, but he was able to get enough of that to get it out of harm's way. This will be trapped by the Squirrels. Ted Davis plays it deep. This will settle down as it's Adamson moving it ahead for Connolly. With 30 seconds left on the penalty to Van Howling, the Squirrels are still in a tie game thanks to some luck, some great goaltending, and some good defense helping out. Cutting in is Bradford, and Runge with his blocker down was able to see that one cleanly. Centering, and a shorthanded goal! The goal comes at the 4:55 mark of the period, and it's Ed Bradford with his team leading 16th goal of the season that puts his team on top, 1-0.
Guys, I don't know if you could see it, but it was a great play by Kurt DeSales here in the corner, who backhanded a puck between his feet and made just a brilliant pass to a wide open Bradford in the slot. Again, the Squirrels flirting with disaster, but they come up on top 1-0 early.
Oh, I saw it, John. It was a beautiful play first to keep it away from Adamson, and then, he, like you said, he put it right on Bradford's stick, and there was no mistake. Beautiful, beautiful play.
So we'll see how each team responds now that finally one team has the lead. But it's the Vicious Squirrels off of the already momentum of just killing off 4 penalties already. And Van Howling knowing him and his personality, probably skated over to the bench and said, hey, any thanks that you guys want to give me for taking that penalty at the right time. Kip keeps it in the offensive zone for the Slashers. The Slashers, not used to trailing, they'll get it off to Stageman. Brandon Stageman fires, and it's kicked out by Bowers. And it looked like the Slashers were going to get a second shot, but it was poked away by the stick of the goaltender. They'll cross ice, well, not really a dump in, but play it out of the zone. And that was a big play for the Squirrels, who have the momentum on their side. 13:38 left to go in the second period. And that time a much better change. Conway being pestered, and Van Howling has it knocked away from him at the red line. Looking to move it is McCormick. McCormick had Conway come back on him, but McCormick still gains the zone. Backhanded shovel over for Bowers, and Bowers will lay the stick down on the tracks, cover up, and we'll get a whistle with 13:15 left.
Well, Eric, I just want to go back to those saves Bowers made shortly before Bradford's goal. I think everybody in the arena, after that rebound was coughed up, thought for sure this was going to be 1-0 Slashers. I'm still not sure how he got a piece of that second shot, but it was just an incredible sequence.
So it was Bradford with his 16th goal, 25th point of the season, and the assist coming to Curtis DeSales, a centering pass, and that is off the mark as the Squirrels did a nice job of moving that out. For DeSales, that is his 8th assist on the season, 15th point on the year, but right now the Squirrels are looking to try to get it out of their own zone, and this will be sent back in. Polly will get it out over the blue line, brought right back in by the Slashers. Now Conway with it. Conway will play that. This will be picked up by John Stageman. Stageman through neutral ice, ahead for Reeves, and not a clear handoff there. Stageman again comes up with it on the steal, and he'll bring it in. A left-handed shot. Didn't have a lot of opportunities going that way, as it would have been a backhanded shot. Tries the pass over. The Squirrels exit the zone. They'll play it up. It's turned over at neutral ice as John Stageman was coming back with a full head of steam. Reeves now with it. He'll cut from left to right. It's poked away from him by Conway. Coons trying to move that quickly before it was Bolton who got onto it. Coons again, and Reeves will dump it in the offensive zone. Spear pulls it to his forehand and then hits DeSales beautifully. DeSales has it knocked away by Gannon. He'll go off the half wall, chipped ahead by Carlisle. Carlisle in pursuit, fires a shot. It's off the mark, and I think the Squirrel defenseman getting back got a piece of it. Poked by Bowers, and a bouncing puck that just topped the stick of Reeves, who wanted to swat that out midair. Settle down for the Squirrels, and DeSales, nice job there, getting a piece of it to slow it down. This sets up Bradford. Bradford comes in, John Stageman with a backhanded defensive play, knocks it away. Then it's on Runge, a slow roller, and he'll cover up for the whistle as we're just under 11 minutes left in the period.
Well, and that was the speed of John Stageman that made that play. Bradford had a clear step, and somehow Stageman closed that gap in a hurry, made perfect timing, and got that puck off his stick.
Yeah, there was only one defenseman that was going to catch Bradford on that. It was Stageman.
Sent back to the point. Shot through traffic and redirected. Coons with a couple of opportunities there. And Runge comes up with saves. DeSales fires one low, and that one will be covered up by the goaltender with his glove as he reaches around. But these two teams, not so much in a feeling out process. In fact, we saw just 9 shots on goal in the first period. We've already eclipsed that. We're only halfway through the second period. Held in by the Squirrels. They'll play it deep. Looking to move it is Brandon Stageman. Gets it around the boards. And this will be Gustafson feeding Adamson. Adamson gains the line cleanly. Off the skate. And then out, as that was Strathman who got a piece of it and redirected it to one of his teammates' sticks. We're into the second half of the contest, and as we talked about, we expected it to be a low-scoring affair. Can't get much lower scoring than this. 1-0, Vicious Squirrels on top. Emerson has it poked away from him. It looked like he was going to be off to the races, but Brandon Stageman made a nice reaction play. Now John Stageman coming in, fires one, and I'm not sure if Bowers got a piece of it or not, or if it was just off target, but whenever Stageman comes in with that much room, with that much speed, you can expect him to let one loose. and they are just offside as the Squirrels having issue gaining the Slashers blue line.
Yeah, there was a 3-on-2 developing there, but just got clogged up a little bit at the blue line, and that was a good-looking play there for the Squirrels, but just got negated by that offsides.
8:55 left to go in the second period. The Vicious Squirrels on top 1-0, thanks to an Ed Bradford goal, his 16th of the season. We'll call it at the 5:01 mark from Curtis DeSelles. And the shorty gives the Vicious Squirrels the lead. They had a shorthanded goal last week in their semi-final victory over the Barnum Floors Yeti that turned out to be a big one, as that forced both 3-on-3 overtime and eventually a shootout. This is sent over to the other side. Van Howling gains the line, puts it on his forehand, fires, and Runge makes the save. It's kicked out by his D, but the Vicious Squirrels starting to really apply some pressure offensively. Brandon Stageman tries to dance at the line, and the Squirrels defense comes up big. This will be sent. Looked like Bowers wanted to play it himself, but he'll stay patient in the paint as his defense. This will roll onto him, so it goes down as a save, one of the easier ones that Bowers has had to make so far. 7:50 left in the second. And John Reichart, what do you have for us?
Well, right now I'm just looking. Looked like these Squirrels were a little discombobulated there, that whole shift. They had the 3-on-2 potential, and all three forwards gathered onto the right wing side of the ice for some reason. And then they got caught coming back, and the Slashers had a real good opportunity. So it was a real good move by Bowers to stop that puck so they could get a change, regather their senses, and come out stronger.
Quick shot on, and Bowers makes the save, the shot. And it was Kip on the draw. He got it over to McFarland. McFarland wasted no time putting one on the Squirrels netminder. He comes up with already his 13th save of the contest. Pauly looking for it as he breaks down to the left side. Conway will bring it in, and it's clean through the zone. Aaron Harris didn't have a lot of opportunities there. Didn't want to turn it over, however, so he backhands it deep. Now the Slashers exit the zone, and Kip will flip that one. Looked like it was just off target, but Bowers puts it onto his stick and will play it to the other side of the ice. From there, it's moved ahead to the blue line, not across. Now Gannon flips it. It'll take a couple of entries, but eventually the Slashers do get into the Squirrels territory, having to work things out there, but doing it nicely is Ted Davis as he'll play it through. Now being brought in by Davis. Davis has it poked away by Gannon. McFarland gets it to the blue line, not out. However, the Squirrels had a bad break there as two players playing it, and it ended up going off of each other out of the zone. Now Bowers will settle it down for Davis. No, he'll let Davis take that all on his own. Davis cuts around Reeves. Now feeds it up for Pauly, a bank pass. A little bit too long of an angle there, and the Slashers will play it back in. Right now, it looks like the Slashers had some offensive creativity going there for a while. As of late, other than the quick shot off of the draw, they haven't had too many opportunities that they've been coming up with for themselves. McFarland plays it around the other side. Centering pass slowed down by the Squirrels, but not out of harm's way. Reeves pulls it to himself, tries to fire through a couple of players, and Bowers will come out, will use his paddle, and he'll move that into Slashers territory. D-to-D pass, and Gannon wanted to quickly move it for Reeves. I don't think Reeves was expecting it. Now Gannon slows it down, kicks it over to his defensive partner. They'll get it back to Gannon. Gannon, being pressured by DeSelles, is able to move around him, but not Bradford. Bradford with the steal, and now he's got to get by Reeves. He does. Trying to cut in. Bradford had it poked away by Reeves, but following up, the Squirrels keep the puck moving northbound as Coons fires that towards the net, but it's behind. With some time, here is McFarland. McFarland backhands a pass, and eventually it'll be McCormick, the captain. McCormick knocked down from behind by Ed Bradford. He pops back up. Bradford going in, but can't get there before McFarland plays it deep. Bowers with it, and he'll hand off for Davis. Davis looking to set up. He's pressured by Reeves. Has to move it quickly. Gannon takes over at the red line and pumps it right back in. However, they'll say offsides as McCormick had not quite gotten out of the zone. 4:22 left in the second period. The Vicious Squirrels on top, 1-0. Long pass ahead for DeSales. DeSales does a nice job of slowing it down, but it's the Stageman's there to slow down him. DeSales now with it. Wanted to get it over for Coons. It's at Coons' feet. Coons tries to pull it in and chipped away by John Stageman. And here we go. John Stageman comes in on a 2-on-1. He'll bring it in himself, and Bowers comes up with no. It trickles through. It looked like Bowers had gotten there in time, but Stageman beats him 5-hole. And for John Stageman, his 14th goal of the season makes it a 1-1 contest.
Bowers did get a piece of that, Eric and Matt, but it just trickled between through the 5-hole, just crossed the line, hit the back of the cage. Great shot with a lot of steam on it by John Stageman, and now we're tied.
Yeah, and it just looked like Bowers thought he had it, and by the time he realized he didn't, it just trickled over the line. So tie game, guys.
And bring it in is Cale Adamson. Adamson will bring it to the right circle, then spin back as he has a left-handed shot. Couldn't do a lot from that angle. So they're going to credit the goal to Stageman. We'll call it at the 16:09 mark. And for Stageman, that is his 14th goal of the season, second on the team only to Justin Reeves. However, he does have a team-leading 21 points on the year. The Squirrels chipping that ahead and looking to get out of the zone. Greening will go in. He's got Stageman to beat, but he just wants to move it quickly. Nice job. Van Howling gets it right back, and Runge will get a piece of it there with his stick. This will be sent out of the zone. In with speed is Stageman. Stageman now cuts in on the forehand, fires, and Bowers makes the save, and then tried to pull it back to himself. However, pulled it back with a little bit too much on it, and it got away from him. This one goes into the crease, and it is sent out by Casey Spear. Now long the other way, and in is Conway. Conway with Brandon Stageman and Runge to beat. Runge got a piece of it with his glove, then feeding it over, but off target was Harris as he sent that through the crease. Conway fires, Runge goes up high with the save, and we'll have a stoppage in the action with 2 minutes left in the period.
Well, guys, I think things have officially opened up. This is a track meet now, and John Stageman loves this. He'll do this all day.
Conway on the face-off in the offensive zone. They'll wait as newcomer to the party is Caleb Harrelson. This will pop out, but kept right back in. Like that idea by the Squirrels. You know you've got some players offside, but the last thing you want to do is play with it. With the Slashers coming out of the zone, they just sent it right back in, said we've got time to touch up, and here they are reaping the benefits. Polly with a centering pass, but it's behind the play, so it's Cale Adamson of the Slashers, who moments ago got this game tied. Not quite sure that that was the plan there as they gained the zone, but they'll take it as Adamson really had it knocked away from him and went off of Bolton and then back over the blue line. The Slashers with 1:10 left in the period, and now it's the Squirrels with Conway. Conway's got Polly. He'll skate around one man, then fires and was looking for the far side and missed. Now it's the Slashers picking it up, and it's Carlisle. Carlisle's got Adamson coming in with speed. Carlisle feeds it over, broken up by Conway. The center gets back in time. Now to Harrelson. Harrelson has some time to think this one over. He'll bank it off the near side boards. The Squirrels will take over. They'll chip it up. Gannon will slow it down. He's got Conway in his face, wants to move it quickly, and does. I think he was meaning to connect there with Kip, but he'll take instead Nate Bolton with it. The Squirrels poke it away, and they'll move it deep from the goal line. Long pass ahead, and Kip got a piece of it, so icing waved off with 20 seconds left. Behind the net is Spear. Spear gets away from one player, then long pass ahead, and the Squirrels will dig it out. This is brought in by Coons. Coons fires it wide with about 7 seconds left. Now Kip, perhaps chance for the Slashers if they hurry. Kip had it poked away from him, and the horn will sound as each team got 1 goal in the period. Ed Bradford for the Vicious Squirrels, John Stageman for the Slashers, and we'll go to a third period with a tied score.
Well, Eric, 2 periods have decided nothing. We're dead even, and I think we're in for a heck of a third period. I mean, it's just amazing. The level of competition, the speed has definitely picked up, and we're going to go down to John Reichart, who's got an interview for us.
I'm here with Jeff Mao, the bench boss of the Slashers, and they're discussing strategy on the bench. Jeff, Squirrels have given you guys 4 different power plays, one of them shortened, but you still had 4 power plays. You're finally able to get on the board with a 1-1 tie. Where do you go here in the third period?
It's just coming down to more shooting, plain and simple. We got to get Jack going back and forth across the crease and have our back door covered, so we can pick up that extra shot. I mean, that's when Biagini and John went down there. They were shoulder to shoulder. As a former goalie, that's a pickup. Where are you going to go? That's what we got to do. That's the way we got to play.
That's Jeff Mallett, the Slashers. Back to you guys.
All right, before we start this third period, we want to remind everyone, if you missed the last D-League night of the Keg Stand, you missed a great night, including some stand-up comedy, $8 steak night, and a live edition of D-League Radio. Be sure to join us for the next D-League night at the conclusion of the D-League playoffs. That's the Keg Stand, 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines.
And guys, I'm over here on the sidelines with Ryan Llewellyn, member of the Knights. And Ryan, you were in this game last year, a championship game.
Yes, I was.
What's it like to be in a pressure-packed situation like this?
Well, to be perfectly honest, last year's championship game wasn't that pressure-packed after a little bit. If you recall, Big Dick John was slamming in goals right and left and gave us a very comfortable lead. But now the conference final, that was a very tense game, kind of like this one right here. It's a real roller coaster, emotional. Every time something goes your way, it affects you. And every time it doesn't, it affects you too. So they just have to keep control of that. Looks like both teams are doing a good job of that today, John.
Back to you guys.
Gustafson of the Slashers brings it in. The Slashers in their green uniforms with white numerals, yellow trim, heading from left to right on, can you believe we're saying it, if you're watching this on D-League Radio TV. John Stageman cuts around one man, backhanded shot. Bowers with the first stop of the period. This will be sent the length of the ice. We'll have an icing call, and both goalies, by my count, have the exact same stats for the first 2 periods. 1 goal given up on 15 shots on goal, but there were a lot more activity, a lot more action in the second period than the first, and the score was indicative of that play.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And yes, D-League TV has arrived just in time for the semifinals, and here we are in the championship game today. So it's a beautiful thing.
The Vicious Squirrels, John T. Scotter sends that around. The Squirrels in their black uniforms with yellow numerals, yellow and white trim. Bowers had that one come on. It looked like it was going to be easy enough to get rid of, but he has to make an extra save there as the Slashers put on the first couple of shots here in the period. One of the things I wanted to mention earlier, and kind of surprised that it hasn't come up until now, John Stageman with that goal picked up his team-leading 21st point of the season as Bowers goes down low, makes a save, and he'll cover up. That broke a tie with him and Justin Reeves. When you think about the championship game, a lot of times people think about, well, it's going to be the teams that have got the highest scoring players. Right now, if you take a look at the leading scorer for all 10 teams, there are only 2 teams that don't have someone that has at least 22 or more points. So despite the fact that the Slashers aren't a team where they've got anybody in the 30s or high, even into the mid-20s, that's how much scoring depth that they have. Bring it in, they fire one, and Bowers with a chicken arm save holds on. Reeves looking for a rebound, trying to dig one out, and it doesn't look like those 2 players are too upset with each other as Reeves goes over and looked like he was kind of just apologizing and say, hey, thought maybe there was a rebound. Interesting to note that those 2 actually played together on the 3-on-3 tournament, or just for the last game as Reeves jumped in. And thanks in large part to Jack Bauer's goaltending, the Peter North Stars came away with the D-League championship of the Gabe Fleming this year. As we played down for Gannon, Gannon will quickly switch from skating forward to backwards, then moves it just as quickly. Reeves cutting around, stays with it, looking to center it, fires a shot. Bowers comes up with a save, and early on in this period, it's been all Slashers. Conway looking for the long pass ahead. This will be settled down by Gannon. He'll move it up. Reeves with it now. And Reeves has to kick it to himself. Holding up nicely is McFarland. Reeves cuts around the D, fires low. Bowers with the save. It kicks out a rebound through the slot, but now the Squirrels with it. The Squirrels are a team that can kill you in transition, and thought there that with a 3-on-2 developing that Conway was really going to make him pay, but they're still on the attack. Conway brings it over to himself, fires Runge with the save, his first save of the period, and right now we know with just 14-15 left in regulation, we're at that point where any of these goals could end up being the championship winner.
Absolutely. That's so even. I think one goal is going to be the difference today, and it's probably going to be the next one.
Gannon runs into DeSales. DeSales gets the better of that transaction. Poked away, however, at the last minute as Harrelson got back and played that away from DeSales. Harrelson, long pass, slowed down by Coons, but it still gets to the Squirrels' blue line. This will be played deep. Davis with it. Davis does a nice job there of, instead of playing the puck right away, just wanted to make sure he had his body between him and his opponent. Firing a shot, and it'll actually be a stick save by Bowers, but he leaves it there for his glove, covering up. And right now, the Slashers are applying all the pressure here in the period. I know Jack Bowers is a good goaltender, but if you're the Vicious Squirrels on the bench, you've got to be talking about changing the tide right now because it's all green and gold.
Yeah, the Squirrels only have the one shot on goal this period, and they're just playing with fire by continuing to lay back. They've got to start putting some pressure on Runge.
Brandon Stageman looked like for a second he may have got that one to just stay on the line, but he was untoto-like. That one came out and we'll have an offsides call. This will be chipped in and around the defenseman, but backed up nicely, stepping up and getting the play. Now that one will go on off the netting, but John Barnhill doing a good job of helping his blue line side out. John Reichart, we're going to send it over to the west side of the boards. What do you got?
Guys, I'm just wondering if you're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Squirrels float around a lot. There's a lot of coasting going on. It doesn't seem like they're moving their feet. The Slashers, on the other hand, are showing a bit more desperation.
A blocked shot, and now here we go. Bringing in is Emerson. Emerson, however, gets caught, but stays with it. He'll feed it over. A quick shot, and that one rolled up on Runge, but he was able to make the save as they fed that one over, and the Vicious Squirrels had a great break for them in their own zone. They brought it down the length of the ice, but Runge there for the stop. A collision at the blue line. Everybody seems all right. Momentary offsides, but touching up is Ryan Greening. As that one played away from him. We're at 11:43 left. We have to say in regulation, as obviously with these two teams, we could see extra time. Falling down, but getting the shot off was Greening, unfortunately. That one was off target as it was to Runge's left. A pass broken up. Stageman plays it ahead. He'll come in with speed. Davis, last man back. He gets around him, trying to go up with the blockhand, and it's a save by Bowers as he gets his glove out. And I think he actually hit it twice with his glove. Midair, got a piece of it, then came over the top and sent it out. The Squirrels trying to counter. They'll send a backhanded pass over for Conway. Slashers are able to withstand that one. This will go the length of the ice. Bowers, with his glove raised, will have an icing call. 10:56 left in the third.
Well, and I'm glad there was an icing because I need to catch my breath after that last one. It looked to me like Bowers actually reached behind himself to make that save. I don't know how he did that, but that was incredible.
So we'll bring the action to the south end of the rink. It's Kip and Conway, respectively, for the Slashers and Squirrels. Kip will play that up and out of the zone. That'll be Spear. And that one nearly went into the Slashers bench, but he got it to the south side of the stanchion, off the glass and around. Now ahead for Kip. Kip had that one poked away from him by Fleming, backed up by Gannon. Gannon looked like he was feeding it to two different players there, either Kip or Bolton. Bolton got a piece of it. Spear will play that around for Fleming. And he'll get tied up there by Carlisle. This one will settle out in the Squirrels. Move it over, it's Conway. Conway bothered from behind by Kip. Offside, so they'll touch up. And the first one out was Harris, but then Pauly took a spill in the offensive zone. Now Eric Kip brings it in. Kip fires a shot, and Bowers makes sure to shut the hot five-hole as quickly as he can, and he'll hold on for the whistle.
Well, the Slashers have some very hard shooters on their team. When Stageman gets ahead of steam, he gets a lot on his shot, and nobody in the league hits it harder than Kip. So Bowers had to be ready for that one as well.
Kip will stay out there and will again take a face-off, this time in the offensive zone. However, late to the party is a Squirrel Coons, so they'll reset it. You didn't want to give an unfair advantage there. This time it's the Squirrels who will play it ahead. Redirected, nice job there pulling it, and Bowers was tall to the task, as that was Carlisle looking for a redirection goal to try to take the lead. Instead, it will stay at 1 apiece. And what I loved there was that tells you how much Bowers knows about the game of hockey. Everybody else was to his right. He was squared up knowing where the faceoff was going to be, and it was the other 10 skaters that had to be filled in by the officials. Hey, we're moving this to the other side.
Yeah, just a great veteran play by Carlisle. Just about fooled Bowers, but he did manage to make that save.
Gannon with a big stop at neutral ice as DeSales had Bradford. Now it's played over, but they'll say offside as Bradford brings it across. But I can't state enough how big of a momentum swing that was. As you go down to the other end, the Slashers have been pressuring, and it looked like in transition they were coming back on a 2-on-1, and Gannon make sure that Runge never sees a shot, as DeSales wanted to just quickly one-time it over for Bradford. And if you're the Vicious Squirrels, you can't ask for them to try to feed it to anyone else. Bringing in is Carlisle. Carlisle is bothered there by Spear, and that causes the shot to go off target. Couple of whacks at it, and Bowers will hold on. And it looked like Biagini there just having a hard time getting any momentum going. Obviously there, that's going to cause the shot to be, well, a little bit softer than he would have liked. And excuse me, I believe that was Nate Bolton who was able to get a couple of shots on Bowers, and Bowers keeping the score sheet clean here in the third period. Reeves lifts that one high as he actually blocked a shot from his blue line. Backhanded attempt. Looking to clear it out, and Bowers will cover up as Reeves was able to poke that one over. We talk about the score sheet staying clean, not just on the goal side, but on the penalty side as well. It looked like early on both teams were getting caught just not moving their feet enough. That caused a couple of lazy penalties, so to say, to be called. But here, right now, it's just end-to-end action. 7 minutes left to go in regulation. This one will come out of zone. Gannon pressured, and he stays true as Emerson looked like he wanted to just knock it off of his stick and head off. Now cutting in, firing a shot, and Bowers will make the pad save and hold on to the effort from Mike Gustafson, who was looking for his 11th goal and 15th point of the season there.
Well, as you just mentioned, Eric, both teams are skating well now, so those little bit of lazy penalties we saw earlier have disappeared, which is good to see. We want to see this thing decided at even strength, and I think we will.
Reeves on the draw for the Slashers, but it's won by the Squirrels. Pauly stepping up, but Brandon Stageman is able to use the boards and send it around. Gustafson takes it to the goal line, now looking to throw it out front. Waits a while, it takes a bounce off of a Squirrel skate. That was T-Scotter, but Bowers is able to locate it. He'll cover up, and we'll have a face-off to his left. 5:55 remaining in regulation. Conway and Reeves both fan on the first attempt. Clearing attempt, no good, and Reeves fires a shot that is partially blocked. Pressure, and Bowers comes out, cuts down the angle, and makes the save as that one goes behind the goal line. This will be played the length of the ice, and Runge will come out, looks to play it, sends it up the boards. Conway with it. Conway from the right circle, firing, tipped, and they say it was held onto in between the pads. Runge had to quickly get back to his crease, and Conway with a good job there of just, hey, if he feels like the goaltender isn't set, let's get that towards the net. Let's see what we can get to develop there. But Runge, again, tall to the task.
And Conway tried to sell it. He had his hands in the air, but Tim Terrell, the referee, was right on the spot. He saw that it wasn't in.
Conway will feed it back to his own blue line, but it's out of the zone. The Squirrels will touch up. That's chipped at by Aaron Harris. Cutting in is Stageman. Stageman with one to get around. He does. Stageman fires. Bowers holds on. And he keeps his team alive with 4:45 left to go, as we're at the point now where the Slashers are a shot on goal away from matching their total from the first 2 periods here in the last period of regulation. I was going to say the last 20, but obviously they cut the clock to 18. The Squirrels. Davis will come away with it. Davis is able to skate around a couple of players, including Adamson, and now he'll lead the charge. He's in with DeSelles and Bradford, but the drop pass was a little bit too much drop, not enough pass. This will be poked into the offensive zone by McFarland, and Bowers directing traffic as it's John Barnhill. Barnhill up, and it's sent right back in by the Slashers, and it's poked all the way down by DeSelles. DeSelles will have that one. That one goes just off the side of the netting, so it doesn't go down the length of the ice, but it's good enough for an icing, and believe me, the Vicious Squirrels will take that every time.
Absolutely. The Slashers are just swarming around that net. They know they're not going to beat Bowers clean on a one shot. They've got to get there for a rebound, and they're doing everything they can to try to get that done.
3:24 left in regulation. Adamson on the faceoff, and looking to get the shot off immediately was Connolly. A shot, as that was McFarland who was able to put that one on net. Bowers comes up with the kick save and sent out. They'll connect DeSelles and Bradford, and falling down is one of the Slashers, and we're going to say offside, as that one, well, kind of threw off the timing of everything. But if you're the Vicious Squirrels, that's exactly what you want to see. DeSelles and Bradford going in transition, trying to counter after there's been all this pressure by the Slashers, as they've really owned the third period. But at the end of the day, nobody's scored here in the third, so really the difference could end up being that the Squirrels, who haven't had a lot of chances here, just need one to try to take the lead. Conway feeds that ahead. Emerson slides it over to the right side, and directing traffic now is Conway. Conway with it on his stick. He'll move that over, and that'll be poked in by Greening. Brandon Stageman pressured there by Emerson, firing a shot. Runge with the save, and Emerson on the doorstep thought that maybe he had a rebound that would be sitting there. Runge made sure that there was none, and we are approaching the 2 minutes moment. Reichart, what do you have for us?
I was just saying, Runge was giving Emerson the stink eye there. He was giving him a nasty look after Emerson tried to get that rebound in.
So the Slashers in their own zone, they'll flip it up to the line, and this will be played out. No problem here for Bowers, as he'll move that ahead. Bowers looking for the assist there, as he got it up to Van Houweling over for Emerson. Emerson gains the line, low shot, backhanded attempt, and that one was just off the mark. From the right circle around to the other side, Gannon with it. Gannon pressured into the corner. He'll play it up, and the Slashers looking to exit the zone. Emerson will bring it back in. They're onside. Now they're off, however, as Van Houweling goes in for it, and he'll peel back. This gives a free play for the Slashers. They're going to try to use it. 65 seconds left in regulation. A little bit too much on that touch, and firing. Bowers now has to hug the side. Bowers fights it away with his glove. It'll be played out. Gannon trying to keep it in, and does. And that'll keep action going for the Slashers. Van Houweling behind his own goal line, and it'll be stripped away by Chris Biagini. Out for Chris Pauley with 45 seconds left in regulation. Off the glass, and Bowers wanted to step up and take it himself, but the Slashers were offside. A pass there nearly broken up. Now Conway will bring it in. Conway cuts around from the left circle, backhanded shot upstairs, but off target. That'll be backed up by Spear. Spear throws it towards the net, and another, and it's in! The goal comes with 20.4 left, but the Squirrels, who had yet to have a real opportunity in this third period to put some extended pressure on, they take the lead with 20.4 to go.
Guys, that was a shot by Casey Spear from the right point. Runge made the save, but I don't think he saw the rebound right away. It was sitting right in front of him. I don't even know who knocked that in.
Aaron Harris got it, John. He was right in the perfect spot, and Runge really had no chance on that play.
The Squirrels are just seconds away from their next championship.
Aaron Harris couldn't have picked a better time for his 7th goal of the season. It could be a championship winner. The Slashers have their goalie pulled. 6 seconds left. They've got to get one on net quick. It's sent into the zone, And the Squirrels with the horn will take the 2-1 victory. They are your 2016 Commissioners Cup champions.
And guys, I'm going to make my way down to the ice. John, go ahead and jump in because I'm going to be getting ready for the trophy presentation. Thanks, guys. What a game.
Guys, yeah, come on down here, Matt. You're going to be part of this. But wow, what a contest between the #1 and #2 seeds. And you know, when you have a matchup like this, you hope that it goes the distance, maybe even then some. But we could not have asked for a better finish. Just a you know, photo finish to the end. Less than a minute left. Aaron Harris, the new hero in Vicious Squirrels folklore.
So a scoring summary, a shorthanded goal. Ed Bradford is 16th of the season, 25th point of the year. 5:01 into the second period from Kurt DeSelles, who picked up his 15th point of the season. John Stageman tied it up for the Slashers with a goal at the 16:09 mark of the second period, and then Aaron Harris, 17:40 of the third period. Right now, they have it as an unassisted, but we're going to give Casey Spear the assist on that one as well. And when we take a look and break down how everything went, the Slashers end up out shooting the Vicious Squirrels by a 30-21 count. The Slashers had 5 shots in the first period, 10 in the second, 15 in the third, and Jack Bowers came up with all 15 saves, 29 on the evening. And at the other end, Jason Runge had a pretty good game himself as the Vicious Squirrels were able to put on 21. He had 19 saves in that one. We're going to go...
Pardon me, Eric. I have Jeff Mao, bench boss for the Slashers. Jeff, a tough ending against a really good hockey team, and you guys had a good hockey team as well. It came down to 2 mistakes. And walk us through that ending.
It was just good pressure on the Squirrels' part. They took advantage of the opportunity, and okay, all right, you got to go. All right.
Thanks, Jeff. We're going to turn this over to Matt Whips.
Well, guys, congratulations to both teams on an incredible game. Yeah, it is. It's on. It's being heard on the TV. You'll get it later. Just an incredible game. Very well played. Couldn't have been closer. First, want to congratulate the Slashers on an incredible season. Squirrels have been there all year. They made an incredible run. Here they are in the championship, and they got it done by the most slimmest of margins. Congratulations to the Squirrels. I'd like to thank our officials for another incredible game and a great season. Thanks, guys. Ed Bradford, come get the cup. Enjoy it.
Ed Bradford of the Vicious Squirrels, the captain, as well as the leading scorer, 16 goals, including 1 in this championship game, 25 points. And it looks like they will hold off momentarily for the passing of it as they are getting set to pose for the photographs, as they will be facing the East End boards, or excuse me, the West End stands, as the family, friends, and just other D-Leaguers will start taking pictures with the black and yellow, the champs of the 2016 Commissioner Cup, the Vicious Squirrels, with a regular season record of 18-6-3, 39 points, tied them with the Slashers for the most points in D-League. And so they ended up being the 1 and 2 seeds, and the Vicious Squirrels remain perfect in the playoffs.
Excuse me, Eric, I have Jack Bauer as goalie for the Vicious Squirrels. Jack, the Slashers were putting a ton of pressure on you in the second and especially the third period, and Stageman coming down with several high-quality chances. You were able to wait them out and make those just tremendous saves. What were your thoughts keeping your team in it until they can get that go-ahead goal?
Hey, you got to be careful of those odd man rushes. You got to watch his waist, see where he goes with it, and try to wait him out. I knew the team was going to get their chances. The question is, would we bury it? And with 20 seconds left, I couldn't be happier.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on a great game and congratulations on a great season. Thanks a lot, guys. Back to you, Eric.
All right. So again, if you're just joining us here on D-League Radio TV, you're seeing the passing of the 2016 Commissioners Cup, as right now it is being held by Ryan Greening, who, not that this ended up coming into play, although we thought it very well might have. He was one of 3 players that had been selected along with Curtis DeSales and Ian Conway that was ready to take a shootout. We're going to send it back down to the ice, and John Reichart is there with Ed Bradford.
I am here with goal scorer Ed Bradford for the Vicious Squirrels. Captain, it's your 2nd championship in 4 years, your 3rd appearance in the final in 4 years. How's this one compared to the other championship you've won?
Well, a completely different crew. Our first crew was just a bunch of ragtags that we slopped together.
No denying that. But you guys have played strong all season long. You guys have a really good season, and whether it was scoring a lot of goals or winning 1-0 with the goaltending of Jack Bowers. Coming into this last minute, it looked like the Slashers were outplaying you guys in the 3rd period. How were you guys able to dig deep and get that win in the final 20 seconds?
You know, I'm just as surprised as everybody else. I think we were just trying to survive and get this thing into overtime, and I think that we thought that our goaltending could hold them off in the 3-on-3, and we had some good goal scorers. And, you know, 20 seconds left, and Harry, he pops one in at the end. That was fabulous.
Well, congratulations on a great season. Congratulations on another championship, buddy. Good to see it. Back to you, Eric.
All right, so the final score here, 2-1. The Vicious Squirrels knock off the Slashers. We will have some more activity going on. However, this is it for D-League Radio and D-League Radio TV for this 2015-2016 season. Although I do want to say that I've already heard that we've got some surprises and some upgrades in store for the 2016-2017 season. So we've got that to look forward to in the fall. But the 2 teams that we thought had a real good chance of meeting for the championship, and finally one team came away with the victory. As we mentioned, the 2 times that they'd met in the regular season, they both drew. They did have the ice at the same time for that last game, but they elected not to play each other and maybe try to keep a few cards close to the vest. What's interesting, and I don't want to compliment myself too much because I didn't actually make any prediction as to who was going to win it, but I had a feeling going into this that this was going to be a 2-1 game, and sure enough, with about a minute left, I go, well, that prediction's looking pretty good, and it was Aaron Harris who came up with the game-winning goal at the 17:40 mark, the assist to Casey Spear that ends up being your game winner. John.
And I'll tell you what, we look like geniuses by not making a prediction, but by suggesting it was going to be a close game and go down to the wire. We maybe took the easy way out, but again, these 2 teams, you could not imagine a better ending. No matter which team was going to win, it was going to end this way with these 2 teams. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you all for joining us on D-League Radio TV today, this new endeavor of ours, and of course all those listening at home on D-League Radio Mixler stream. We're very happy to bring this to you. And Eric, do you have any final thoughts on this? It's been a great season. The D-League season has finally ended, and the Squirrels are the champs, and this was your first year. What do you got on this?
Well, I do want to congratulate the Vicious Squirrels, and in particular Jack Bowers, a player that I've known for a very long time. I do want to say, though, that the championship has been crowned. D-League itself does have a couple more games left. I'm hoping to maybe come away with a 3rd place championship. But we also want to remind anyone, if they're within watching, listening area close enough, to head on over. It's going to be a good couple of games to finish out, and there's a potluck going on. And one last time, we want to thank our D-League Radio sponsor, the Keg Stand, 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines, open till 2 a.m. 7 days a week. Food and drink specials, as well as a full menu, which includes those half-price wings on Wednesday, and oh yeah, over 80 beers on tap. That's home of D-League and D-League Radio, the Keg Stand in West Des Moines.
And we are going to have another D-League night, the final D-League night of the season. Be listening for that. We're going to have a date confirmed pretty soon. It's probably going to be a week from tomorrow. Again, live D-League Radio at the Keg Stand. Always great to have them supporting us and everything they've done for us this year. And now we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to take just a second to thank everybody that has helped us out on D-League Radio this year. It's just been a lot of work. We have broadcast 47 games, including the game today. 47 games and an all-star game. We've had 5 D-League nights, and we have one more coming up. We've had the draft. We had 3 hours of the draft, and there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to bring you D-League Radio, not so much by Ryan Llewellyn and I, but by Rich Harms, who has supplied all the equipment and all the knowledge to make us sound so good. And you've heard us say before, we cannot sound as good as we do without the yeoman's effort of Mr. Rich Harms. So when you see him, thank him for making D-League Radio sound so great. Erick Zamora, the play-by-play of the Buccaneers, just a fantastic job, and it just has been so gracious and so kind to join us in this little endeavor of ours. And you've dove right in and just fit right in with this little group we have. Brian Koch, who's done a really good job doing play-by-plays. Patrick McFarland of the Slashers called some high school basketball games and wanted to give this a shot. And we were looking for another voice, and we got it, and a good addition as well. Pete Van Howling, Kevin Coble, Matt Whips, Brian Higgins, Andrew Curiel has filled in, Tim Young doing color, and it's just effort by a lot of guys. A lot of time goes into this, a lot of effort, but again, it's a labor of love, and we love every second of it. So, having said that, we are going to end this season of D-League Radio. We have one more episode of regular D-League Radio with Ryan Llewellyn and I coming up this week, and then we are going to put a bow on the whole season, but for now, we're going to put a bow on this one. Erick Zamora, final words.
Well, again, I want to thank everybody who was a part of the broadcast. Matt Whips to my right here, John Reichart over on the other side, and thanks for allowing me to jump in and help out. Couldn't say enough about how much, again, the behind-the-scenes work of the guys, including Rich Harms, who really hold this thing together. Matt, do you have any closing words before we head out of here?
Well, just kind of a whirlwind day, as I knew it would be. I'm just trying to still process what we saw on the ice, Eric. It's just an incredible game. Slashers certainly have nothing to be ashamed of. They gave it everything they had. I mean, I know we don't do 3 stars for this game, but if we did, I think Jack Bowers would be the #1 star. I mean, he just turned away shot after shot after shot. And even the Slashers, there was a couple times I thought they'd scored. I mean, there was that one play towards the end where he literally went behind his own body to make that save. And wow, I mean, we say it all the time, good things happen when you put pucks on net. Lo and behold, Spear puts one on, and Harris was right where he needed to be. Probably the biggest goal of his career, certainly for the year. It was just an amazing game. And a great ending to an incredible season.
It certainly was. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in. If it weren't for you guys out there, there wouldn't be a D-League Radio. The championship game-winning goal by Aaron Harris, and a final here from Buccaneer Arena. It was the Vicious Squirrels 2, the Slashers 1. Your 2016 Commissioner Cup champion are the Vicious Squirrels, and this has been D-League Radio.